Welcome back, everybody. Let's have a look at Matic then, shall we? So, I'm all for one of them people that likes to stick up for a chart when everyone's calling it a scam, and I'm saying it's not a scam. I'm telling you, that's the chart. That's crypto. That's the way it goes. That's why I love Matic, because as you know, people just forget, don't they? It's so easy to forget about what Matic has done for them in the past. I mean, it depends on what side of the trade you were, clearly, but for me personally, I did well out of this. I did very well out of this, and to be honest with you, that is nasty, and clearly that's nasty, but it's cryptocurrency, all right? Is Matic going to reach its all-time high? Is it going to do it soon? Well, I can tell you now that it will reach its all-time high. There's no question about that, because despite what people think of it, it's not a scam. All right, it's just a cryptocurrency, and there's a lot of the cryptocurrencies out there that are a lot worse than this. So for me, the chart still remains the same. The targets still remain the same. And the targets for me, now that we've broken out of this and we've clearly turned this back into a strong support, this support we were being held up here, all the way up here, all the way up here, and then we broke down beneath it, and now we're back above it, and we're really, really pushing hard. So that is very good. Now what I think is likely to happen at this point is that we will be rejected at around 27 cents. Because we get rejected there so frequently, and I'm not the only person that trades Matic, but you'd have to be a fool to not recognise that this is the area to break, or to be respected. On first pass, I would probably say it's to be respected. And the best thing what I'm looking to do, because I'm not your financial advisor, but what I'm looking to do would be to front run that move at around about 26.5 cents, which has almost been taken out now. So maybe some more people are trying to front run me, because they're scared of that 2.7 cents. So the 2.7 cents rejected here. Didn't really matter on this occasion here, but it was rejected here, several times, by the way. These aren't just single candles, these are daily charts, and rejected several times. So it's very generous in that respect. It definitely does try. We broke above it here, but closed beneath it. Rejected, and here, for 3 days in a row, 4 days in a row rejected from it. We're coming up to test it now. So basically, the rule for me is to trade it to close to 27 cent, 2.7 cent, and then take your profit. And then, because this looks like a strong support, we're going to get wedged into this area, and it's going to break one way or another. Bitcoin is having a similar kind of moment as well, where it wants to break above 12,050, and if it does break above that area, then the move should continue, and that will then hopefully take the rest of the market with it, as we break bullish in cryptocurrency across the board. And by the way, it's worth noting that the Bitcoin dominance is still significantly down, so that allows for a lot of these altcoins to make the big moves and to continue with the big moves, even if Bitcoin is making big moves itself, because the dominance chart actually looks bearish on all time frames. Whether that's so there's a weird kind of insect in my room, but whether that's weekly, daily, 4 hourly, every way you cut it, it's bearish. I don't have the chart up now, but you just have to take my word for it. It's bearish, all right? There's nothing bullish about that chart, which is good for alts. So the money's in alts. You just got to pick the right ones, clearly. So we're riding up on this, and hopefully this will remain support again. So we'll reclaim this upwards trend as support, which will eventually wedge us into a make or break area, and the chances are that it will break out, because the market's now gone. It's looking good again. If Bitcoin decides to break down, which it could do, and take itself down to the CME gap, which is possible, definitely, and that is 9,600. There's around about 18% dump. If it did do that, it wouldn't happen all in one go. It would be very unlikely that it did, but if it did come down to that level, it would almost certainly bounce from there. If that were to happen, then yes, alts will take a hit, and that would almost certainly break this down, and would come back down to maybe about 2 cents. But that's not happened at the moment, so we're trading the chart as it is, and the chart to me is telling us that we're moving our way to the mega resistance, 2.7 cents or thereabouts. Even if we break above it, we have to close above it for it to count. If we close above that, then it will really take off, and we've got all the way up to about 3.4 cents before our next super resistance. There's resistances amongst the way, psychologically 3 cent will be a resistance, I'm sure. But if this becomes a trading range, that would be phenomenal. And only when 3.4 cent breaks will you get to see the all-time high, and maybe higher than that. Matic's not a scam coin. It's a coin, alright? It's been pumped and dumped by Binance, not by the guys who do Matic. You know, Binance make money through trades, alright? Everyone knows that. That's what they're there for. They make their money through people trading, and they release these IEO coins, and they make money through that too. So there's incentive for them to pump this here, there, and everywhere. And you know, it's been manipulated in that respect. It's not been price manipulated. It's been manipulated by incentive to trade. All right, incentive to buy, incentive to trade. But it's not a scam. I'm telling you. There's very clear supports and resistances within Matic and this Matic chart. And one thing that I said on a video, must be a couple of weeks ago now, is that this area here very much reminds me of this area down here, where we accumulated for a very long period of time, around about between 1 cent and 1.2 cent. That was an accumulation period. This again is an accumulation period, it would appear, basically within this blue box area here. This was very well respected, the low of this being 1.85 cent and the high being 2 cent. That was super support, and we were being held above there all this time. We've had big moves up and down, but we never broke and closed beneath it in all this time. And how long has that been going on for now, since we got above it? 91 days. 91 days. So we're getting on for 3 months of that accumulation period. It sounds like it's about time for it to move. So I think that accumulation period has taken place. This accumulation period over here took place. This one's very similar, and I'll show you something in a minute which will kind of confirm that. So yes, accumulation took place around about 2 cent, which is almost twice the amount that it did last time. We've been bullish on our golden cross from back here, relatively underwhelming in a sense because we haven't had continuation from that, but we are in a bullish chart. Technically the indicators suggest it's bullish. The MACD has just crossed above the 0 point now, and it's starting to diverge, which is bullish, definitely. Now, one thing I should say is that money flow index doesn't mean a great deal at this level, but it could go up to this high level, and that would be an area to sell at. So you'd have to be very careful. Me personally, I'm going to be getting out around here and see where we go from there, and hopefully trade this range. Now, this is what I want to show you on the sats. Death cross here, unfortunate. It looks like it's going to redeem itself now into a golden cross on the Satoshis. Now we're coming up to the top of the Bollinger Band, and it appears that we're coming back down from that, but this would be invalidated, and this should at this point form a continuation for Matic. So it looks as though Matic has probably played out the majority of its move now, coming down once we get to that 2.7 cent. I could clearly be wrong, because the last time we came to it on our big move, we broke straight through it, but that was a different kind of setup to this one. This one's a little slower and more steady, and hopefully will respect the ranges. So yeah, in every respect, Matic is redeeming itself now in a natural way. It's not being pumped and used like Binance did it. This has been allowed to move itself since all that funny business about that trading competition and staking and mainnet coming out and all these people trying to trade off the back of that. That's not where the big moves actually are. The big moves take place when the chart is ready, and the chart looks like it's getting ready. It's not ripe right now, but it's getting ready. So we could see some big Matic style moves, take us back to the good old days, and see where we go from there. Anyway, that's the Matic out of the way. Just to let you know, I've been trading on Probit recently. You should get yourself involved. I'm not in any way doing this for money. They're not paying me or anything like that. I just wanted to bring something to your attention. CNS, absolute beauty of a beast, and just did 100% profit on it in 2 days. I've been talking about it quite a lot, but the reason is it's a very tradable chart, and it reminds me a lot like Matic back in the olden days. So I'd get yourself on that. Subscribe to my channel. You can see my trades on this one and my TA on it, and try and give this coin a little bit of a boost, really, boost its profile, because it's gone under the radar. But recently I did a 10x on it, and just did a 2x on it just in the last couple of days, and the volume is reasonably high. So this is a moneymaker right here. Sign yourself up to Probit. I've got a link at the bottom. use that link. That would be much appreciated. Anyway, I'm going to leave it with you there. So don't worry, Matic people. If you bought at the top, it shouldn't be too long before you get your money back. And if you haven't bought yet, I'm not a financial advisor, but things are looking quite good. It's quite high at the moment, so it's likely to come down a little bit. As long as we're stuck, as long as we're trading within this range and we're supported above this, we should be good to go. Anyway, thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Hope you have a nice evening. Take it easy.